Welcome to this Taoist meditation session. The meditations I'm going to be presenting come from Taoism. You might be wondering why I'm talking about all sorts of things before doing the meditation. It is to give you a context and understanding why you're doing it so it can have a much better effect for you. Just sit straight, let your mind get quiet, go on to the meditation. Welcome back. Now, putting your mind inside your body is another basic principle in Taoist meditation. And so, first, you may not have heard that term, so what does that mean? I'll give a story about the first time that I got, let's say, put this to me in a rather stark fashion. There is a martial art that is called Bagua. And it has people doing things like this and turning their waist and putting pressure on this internal organ and that internal organ. And this particular one is a whole thing about how you put pressure on your liver. But in the middle of it, a teacher showed me how to do it, and then I started doing it. And then he said, "Can I ask you a personal question?" Now, for those of you who have heard this before, it struck me at that time very powerfully, and you have no idea how tired I get of repeating it, but the fact of the matter is that I think it made the point pretty well. And so he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm kind of going, oh shit. When someone asks you that, you're being set up for something. Okay? So he said, okay, sure you can, absolutely, oh great master. And he said, do you believe in ghosts and spirits in America? So my mind started flitting around to the deep south, when I'm grabbing the snakes and the holy rollers and how they're bringing in the spirits and, the whole witchcraft thing. But it wasn't that common, but it did exist. And so anyway, I figured, oh, what the hell, in for a penny, in for the pound. I said, yes, some people do. I tried to hedge my bets as best I could. He said, oh, okay, now, can I ask you another question? And this is now when I figured I was really going to get it. And so he said, look, I just asked you to put your mind inside your body, and I've asked you to move your liver in a certain way, because that will help get your arms and everything we're doing here to work. And you obviously couldn't. And the look on your face made me want to ask another question. And I said, and can I, okay, I figured you just, die, just let him do what he wants to do. So he said, you believe in ghosts in America, right? Okay. So now I ask you a personal question. Did you sell your liver to a ghost and did you get a good enough price for it? I'm sitting here, someone's actually saying, he was saying that I should put my mind inside my liver, and then I should just get to where I can get it to move so it'll move my hands. All right, well, it's on the face of it. You could say, well, how do you move your hands? Your mind somehow goes to your hand, feels your hand, and you give it some commands and it starts working. The exact way of it, there's a lot of neurology, but that's the long and the short of it. So I said, yeah, and then, and then he did that, and he asked me to do it again, and I did it very badly. And he looked at me at the way you look at a dog that's got like 2 broken legs and is hobbling down, like, you poor puppy, you. And so I tried and tried and tried. Well, now I can do it. Matter of fact, I very often, when I teach Bagua, if I let people touch me, I just let them and I just show them. I move my liver here, my hand goes there. I move it here, my hand goes there. And I make it to where it's not theoretical. I bring it right down to the practical point. But it's the same thing. Your mind can make your body move. If you put your mind on a blood vessel and you know how to just play around with your mind, you can make the blood inside that blood vessel do whatever you tell it to. But there is also the fact that if you have something that's really, really messing up your mind, okay, whatever it is, if you can't actually feel what that is when we get into meditation, and that's going to move forward downstream to where you're going to want to release that thing that's inside you that holds you with this bad habit. Okay, it's like everybody's a sinner. Everybody knows they shouldn't sin. Everybody is told how they shouldn't sin, and yet everybody keeps on doing it because they can't stop themselves. So how do you get your mind inside your body? So now, that'll come later, how you do it, but the first question is, why should you care? Well, the reason why you should care is that it's a great idea for you to own your own body. That's number one. Number two, if you can feel what's happening in the deeper levels of your mind, you can have all sorts of problems from not arising to begin with. You can, as they said in the cowboy movies, you can cut them off at the pass. So this ability to have your mind inside your body is what, in almost every Eastern religion, they talk about being able to do that, being able to put your awareness, the Chinese just use the term mind, but it's the same difference, how you can put your conscious mind's awareness into those things inside you that are working by your unconscious mind. And since your unconscious mind tells you how to do most everything, that gives you a way to change what normally never gets changed. Now, the people, if you can put your mind inside your mind, which is the next step after putting your mind inside your body, then you have what you need to really be able to pray. And I don't really care if it's in a Christian way, a Jewish way, a Muslim way, a Hindu way, a Buddhist way, a Taoist way. Because in order for you to really put your mind into what your spirit is, you're going to have to put your conscious mind into what your unconscious mind is doing. And that's why there are all these stories that if you could, in India, for example, if you could say a mantra for real, for true, completely, with nothing in you left out, but 100% of you, within 2 or 3 mantras, you could get all the benefits that mantra could give. And if 100% of you could pray, then, as the Gnostics would say, you can be sure God will listen to you. But if 99% of you and 1% isn't, then you can't be sure God's going to listen to you because you're talking to yourself. It's not all of you that's involved. So, we now are in this coronavirus moment. And many people are, they either can only work inside their houses or they can't work at all, but they're trapped inside their houses. And when a person is trapped or forced to live in a place, unless they have a strong, calm, still point, unless they can recognize what their mind is doing, and if their mind starts doing crazy stuff, because they can recognize it, begin to stop it, they're open to all kinds of problems that can happen. I explained, I think, a week or 2 ago that I taught in Santa Fe State Prison, which back in the 80s had the worst prison riot in U.S. history. I think 38 people or something died. And these people were locked up. And I mean, some of those prisoners told me that from being locked up, what this was doing to their minds. And it was truly horrible. Now, I don't think it's going to be that bad, I hope, in this, if this lockdown goes down a lot longer than people think. But when people are isolated, internal pressures build up in people. Now, if you can recognize these pressures as they're building up, you have something inside you, and this is why you should care about being able to know what's going on inside you, that you now have a warning sign. Okay, it's time to do something different. If you were driving in a car and it was a supercar, and there are cars that can go from like 80 miles to 150 miles an hour, and you actually don't even notice you're going faster. Well, a good car will make a beep or something letting you know that you are really going ridiculously fast. Okay? My car has a thing like that, and it tells you if you're going over your lane, because it's one of these SUVs, and it's a big car, and Well, it is a lot nicer to know you're going over the lane, so you correct, then you don't notice it and you smash into somebody, because that's not such a great thing to have happen. But you need to have something that is letting you know. Is your mind kind of okay, or is it bad? Now, if we take having a bad flu, there is a big difference between being happy, healthy, everything's fine, everything's great, you're in a good mood, and see what you're like when you have 105 fever. You know, you can't quite think right, and you know your blood's boiling inside inside of you, and God knows what's running through your head. Who knows what you're thinking or saying, and who knows what hallucinations are occurring. And that's not such a great spot to be in. So at least if you could keep your mind in a state of like having 100 and 101 fever, you would recognize what's going inside you. And if you started going over the red line to wanting to do crazy things, then okay. I mean, at least you can adjust. You can figure it out. Now, when people have thoughts that just keep on spinning around their brain and don't stop and go here and go there, a lot of people think they're going crazy. And often they are not. It's just that, the way they put it in Chinese medicine, when the winds of qi start moving in your head in really erratic ways, which is what happens when you have heavy fevers, it mimics you going crazy, but you're not crazy. And if you actually could notice that that's what's happening, is you're getting whole kind of winds and everything moving through your head, or these weird body contractions or sensations, if you just could recognize that this is a bodily thing, and I don't have to get crazy. I don't have to yell at the people in my house. I don't have to beat somebody in my house to release my own internal pressure. I don't have to do horrible things to grandma or to grandson or to child or daughter. And, if you have adults, you get really nasty. Most adults, if they have any kind of mental equilibrium, can take it until you do it too much and then they flip out against you. But that's not always the case when people get very old, because their bodies are incredibly weakened, and their bodies feed their mind. Their bodies feed their mind's ability to be stable. And when they lose that stability, their minds get very, kind of out of it. Welcome to the world of dementia. But if you have something that can keep you reasonably stable, then you don't have to go off that heavy at people around you. Okay? You don't have to, where otherwise you may want to control yourself, but you may not be able to do it because your body's going too crazy beyond all this. So the next thing that you're going to be trying to do is called putting your mind inside your body. Now, if you close your eyes, slump over. Just slump, get in a lousy position to where everything in your body's contracting. Let your head go, do whatever. Close your eyes, and what do you feel like inside? What do you feel like? And I guarantee you, it's not going to be your optimum. When you just kind of got that, now you're putting your mind inside your body. You got to feel, what's it doing to your head, your chest, your genitals, your butt, your legs, whatever. What other weird things are going with it? Who knows? Just everyone thinks they only think in their head. Well, you can also have the experience of thinking from your knee or your foot, because that's what's going to seem to be your thoughts are, even though obviously that's probably not where they are, but that's how you're going to experience them. And then how do you know this is going on? And then straighten your body up and see if a lot of this stuff doesn't just go away. Because what you're getting when you went into that kind of a very bent over whatever position, it's a bit like a giant electrical grid. You're just getting wires collapsing on top of each other that shouldn't be. So you get the sparks when everything gnarls up inside. Well, as long as it's not too gnarly, you don't notice a drop in signal. But if things are happening and the wires are crossing and they're getting frayed, or the one electronic signal from one pathway is leaking into another, that's when machines go weird. whether they're mechanical or digital. And that's also kind of what happens inside your body. So one reason you want to put your mind inside your body is to start becoming familiar with what is actually happening from your mind, rather than it's just, you got a lousy body position. And we will go further about how to sit better so you don't get this body noise. Okay? So you can have your body alone the way it is will create a bit of calmness. So as we do this, just sit, close your eyes again, and move your body into any kind of contorted position you like. Let your body slump over, let your head drop. I don't know, just, lean to one side, lean back. And now putting your mind inside your body. Close your eyes. What are you feeling? Now, I'm willing to bet that you don't feel 100%. I mean, I think I could take that to Las Vegas and put it in some betting place, and pretty good chance you'd win. Now, just recognize what that's like. I'm not saying recognize. It actually doesn't matter what specific experiences you're having. What does matter if you can notice that something abnormal is happening inside of you. So then straighten your body up. Straighten from the perineum through the center of your head. Raise your spine up. Try and get some space between your ribs and your lower part of your belly. And then just see if you can just get that and open the inside of your body a bit so you have a sense of some space in it. Crumpling a piece of paper is not the same thing as pulling it till it goes straight. You can't write in a crumpled piece of paper, but if you straighten the paper out, it might not look the best because of all the tiny folds, but you could write something that could be read. So what is it? Now, if you had someone inside your household where you're both ending up in crumpled positions and you're going each other like cats and dogs, sit across from each other. Sit in 2 chairs, be 3 or 4 feet from each other, and just look in each other's eyes and try and stay straight. And just notice what's happening in your head. Only don't make the mistake because you think you should slap them across the face to slap them across the face. You just look at them and become aware of what's happening inside your own mind. And as you get better with this, you may find you're able to start feeling what's happening in theirs. So this is just a way of recognizing the situation you're in. And if you can recognize what situation you're in, usually you don't have to go off half-cocked and do something really stupid. So this is one reason you want to be able to feel what's going on. Now, let your mind travel around your body. I don't know, what do your sinuses feel like? Because if, this coronavirus, you're going to get a dry throat, you're going to hack, your sinuses are going to start feeling weird, and all this is going to happen before your lungs start really going. But what does it feel like? Now look, everybody and their mother's uncle has got something on the internet about, take this, take that, take vinegar, take vitamin C, take this, take that. And I am not going to advocate for any of them. That's not my specialty. Okay? But, you can find out, wash your hands when you're outside, wash your hands if you touch something, wear gloves, wear a mask. If you're smart, when you come home, take a hot shower as soon as you walk in before you even change clothes. Just put your clothes to the side, take a hot shower, I don't know. There's a lot of these things, and they're all out there, and they are on the internet, and great experts in various fields will give you their opinions, and I'm not going to give mine because I think they're doing a fine job. But in things like meditation, this is something I really know about. So you just look, can your mind go inside your body? If your left kneecap were messed up, let's not talk about if it's in pain, because then that's pretty obvious, if you smashed your knee into something or twisted it. But can you put your mind inside your knee? Can you start to penetrate your skin and just feel what's going on in your knee? You want to go the Chinese medicine thing, you're getting bad, you're having some kind of problems with your eyes. Take care of your knee, because your knee and your eyes are correlated. They each affect each other, but that's fine. Where else? Put it inside your shoulder. What does it feel like? And a lot of times the sensations when you first start are very, I guess the only word is weird, because you're not used to it. There are things that, we're just not used to putting our minds inside our bodies. But you do it for a while, it'll become kind of normal. And then you'll be able to say, oh, wow, what am I feeling? What's it doing? If you can get your mind inside your body, I've been teaching this to people for, going on 40 years now, that, especially when the winter comes, if you can start feeling parts of the inside of your body getting weird, take care of it then. You don't got to go through getting a nasty flu, pneumonia, cold, I don't know, whatever else is out there that can get you. Because you can feel when it's normal, and you can feel when it's going abnormal. Whatever that means to you. And then that just says, okay, knowing what you know about that part of your body, what can I do to make it better? And if you do that, very often, I've had many winters in my life where I've gone through and nothing has happened to me at all. Just from this, because I could recognize it. We were taught how to do that when I was a Taoist priest, to be able to actually feel the energy of food. And I can state that in 2 occasions, because I could feel something was really wrong, I didn't get poisoned. Other people did, and other people suffered from it. I didn't. Just because I just said, I don't know what it is, but this is not right. Not that I saw something or animal, I just felt it inside of me. When you meet someone, you fall in love with them, you don't actually, only an idiot tries to figure out why the two of you are in love. You talk about breaking the mood. I mean, that's about one of the best ways you could pull it off. But, hell, you want to feel everything that's with that first flush of love, because it's magic. And that's why people keep on coming back and looking for it. And if it wasn't that magic, they wouldn't bother to come back and look for it. No, they just wouldn't. There wouldn't be a strong enough motivation force. But what is it? What are you feeling inside you? Are you feeling pressures, weird sensations, vibrations? Can you sometimes almost you can almost see some tissue inside you when it's fucked up? Well, you can see after you've been sick for a while, it's getting better. Or I can't tell you what you're going to see or what you're going to feel. Because, feelings are also vibrations. I can't say what it's going to be, but I want you now just to practice this, so you start developing the ability. And why do you want to be able to do this? Well, it's it's a thing that's been done for a lot of years, and in one sense it's trite, but it's still true. Do you have an owner's manual to your own body? Can you actually, in a car it makes a lot of noise, or, steam starts coming out the hood, something's wrong. But, if you open up the hood, you can see what's there and what's not there. Well, it's the same way. If you can feel inside you, you are opening up the hood of your own body. And you want to do that so you can recognize what's going on and doing something with it. And then as we go further, if you have much deeper issues inside you, then if you can feel what they're doing to your body, then there are methods in Taoist meditation for getting rid of them, for causing these things just to go poof. Like I said, when Wang Shujing asked me to feel my liver, I'm wondering, are you going to ask me to fly to the moon next? I mean, like what is this? I mean, come on, you are asking what is utterly and totally impossible. And yet, a year later, how come I couldn't do this my whole life? Because I could. I put my attention, I had enough faith in him, so I tried, until finally all of a sudden I could feel. Because there's a very old phrase. My teacher Leo used to say it all the time, and there were lots of equivalent phrases the Buddha said. What you practice, you become. If you practice something, you eventually get what it is. And it just becomes part of you as a normal thing. So what's making you angry, sad, the pressures that build up, the having to be locked in the same room with relatives, frankly speaking, you really don't like. A lot of people, the biggest fear they have of the whole year is going back home for Christmas dinner or something, because they know stuff is going to happen because everybody in the family's at each other's throats. Now, for some people, Christmas dinner is the happiest day because they love their relatives and the relatives love them. But that's not every family. There's also families, and it's quite well known that, they get into each other with rather nasty ways. If you judge yourself, maybe you kind of think you judge yourself, but you're not sure. But if you go deep inside yourself, if you're judging yourself or judging other people, you're going to feel it happening inside your body. And that gives you now the opportunity that with some of the methods that'll come later in this thing, that if you want to get past it, you know where the animal in the forest is, you know how to set the trap, you know how to get the animal, and you know how to send him off to the zoo where he doesn't bite anybody anymore. But you can't do that if you can't be aware of the animal inside you. You can't do that if you can't be aware of how the interactions you're having with people, or if you're just sitting alone, the interactions your mind are having with your mind. Some people, there's a lot of things you can happen. I could make a list and it could go on for a couple hours. Negative self-esteem, greed, lack of confidence, overconfidence, too much love, too little love. In the sense of just kind of wearing your heart on your sleeve to such an extent. Can't figure how the weight of it doesn't drag you down to the ground so you can't move anymore. But there's lots of things like that. So what's inside you? Because once you can recognize that something's there, and you can just accept the sheer fact that it's there, a lot of the pressure inside of you goes away. The next step is, if you want to get rid of it, well, you got to do things to get rid of it. But if you can't recognize it, that it's going on, you're never going to really do what you have to do to get rid of it, because you won't go at it, take it on. Well, with all that being said and done, I hope this is some help, and do this. And for right now, let's just do a little practice. Starting from the top of your head, close your eyes. Feel the very top of your head, the very crown. You're going to find this easier with your eyes closed, but if you want to have them open, that's your decision. And just let your mind kind of sit on that spot like a hen sits on an egg. Now, a hen usually doesn't know that it's sitting on the egg is going to cause it to hatch, but it has a hope, and it'll persevere in it until the egg does hatch. Although it sometimes may just do it for a while and fly off and come back again, and the egg will have hatched while it was away. But put your mind inside your body. Penetrate your skin. When you step on a thorn, it penetrates your skin. It breaks the skin, it goes inside. A mosquito, many mosquitoes, when they break the skin, they go inside. They leave behind stuff that makes you sick, dengue fever, malaria, various and sundry things. But now, get your mind to penetrate your skin. And keep on doing it around the whole head. And then see if you can penetrate the skull. And just recognize what's happening and letting go of the desire to run away. What you're going to find in here is not going to be so bad. Maybe it can make you feel like you want to kill yourself, but the fact of the matter is that what's going on is not strong enough to do it. If you just say, yes, I'm feeling this, I am feeling this, I am recognizing this, yes, that's there. You don't try and talk your way out of it. You just go, wow, that's there, okay. And you just start naturally taking inventory. Okay, rub your hands. Get the energy that's stuck in your head, back down to your body. Thank you very much, and may this virus pass quickly. And, if you have to be locked inside a lot, this could be a golden opportunity to make yourself become more sane. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you found this helpful. If you like this, go ahead and click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.